This is Norman Kochnick. A very confused and bewildered Norman Kochnick, by the way, here on Extra Time. I'm trying to fathom what I've just seen and what's actually happened, and I'm going to rub my eyes and look again. How on earth did Rajasthan Royals win this match? It didn't look like it was going to happen at all. Chris Morris, maybe this multi-squillion cause enough that he's gotten is now warranted after hitting a 6 to win the match. I'm not sure. Rajasthan Royals, as you may or may not know, has just defeated Delhi Capitals, something that I gave absolutely no hope to before the match started, and I gave no hope to about 4 or 5 overs ago as well. I'm completely gobsmacked. I'm joined by 3 other very gobsmacked people, namely Siddharth, gobsmacked, Vishy, Vishwanathan. I can't believe what's just happened. Can you, Siddharth?
Nope. How it changed?
I'm still wearing his Delhi Capitals top. I think I heard certain words I never thought you would say at your young age a minute ago, like we crossed to you when Chris Morris hit the 6. Are you shocked or are you shocked?
I don't know what to say. Chris Morris used to play for Delhi. He stabbed us in the back big time.
The selection of Tom Curran. Oh my heavens! What planet were the selectors on? Anyway, and we're over to Debashisan, who's actually on another planet altogether. He's actually on a planet called Kolkata, and he looks actually refreshed. Did you go to sleep? Did you miss this game? Because this game couldn't be missed.
Yeah, absolutely. Means obviously Delhi had everything to lose in this match. Means obviously they had the match in their grasp, and Chris Morris 16.25 crore at last. He has come good for Rajasthan Royals. And as Siddharth was just telling us that there was no sixes hit in the entire Delhi innings, and then all of a sudden you have as many as 5 sixes. Siddharth, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
5 sixes hit by Rajasthan Royals and to take the match away.
Actually, 7.
7.
Yeah,
7.
7 sixes. So that says it all. And Norman, now I think you need to think about, because you have been trying to say from start that you reckon Delhi Capitals are the favorites. Delhi Capitals, your your crystal ball says that Delhi Capitals, but here you have. What does it say now?
It says it's got alcohol inside it. Maybe it's got a bit mulled. The reality is this is not form. What we're seeing today is not form. I'm sorry. Something's really gone skew with this game. It's an aberration. I don't think I'm going to take this game as true form. Both sides performed very unusually. They had individual brilliance, you could say, and some selection blunders. The very fact that Tom Curran was selected was the mistake of the century. None of us even gave Tom Curran a hope of playing. And I'm going to have David Graveney on my show on Eyes on Cricket later. I'm going to be asking David what on earth has gone on here, because David would know. He knows he's on speed dial of Tom. He'll probably have Tom on the phone if we know rightly. The reality is this. I'm sorry, I don't change my mind about Delhi Capitals at all. I can't say this is true form. Both Rajasthan Royals, I'm sorry, are not worthy of being highly rated, and I maintain that. Chris Morris has come out with a freakish sort of ending there, and I think perhaps Delhi thought they had this game in the bag and took the foot on the pedal a little bit and thought that let's not bowl Ashwin for a 4th over, let's bowl Tom Curran. There's no logic. I'm sorry. You can't legitimately have any logic to this game, other than the fact that a number of batsmen failed miserably. The bowling, Rabada certainly looked good. Avish Khan looked very good. In fact, the way that Rajasthan Royals were up against it from the start by the Delhi Capital bowlers, I thought that was a great effort by the Delhi Capital bowlers. But this Tom Curran, if you looking at his figures, he went for almost 10 and over when the rest of the bowlers were well under that. Something very unusual about that performance, and he needs to be dropped. If Tom Curran plays another game in this tournament, I'm going to the Bahamas. Okay, that's my bet. All right, Ahan, have you recovered yet? the Bharat Army's main representative for Delhi Capitals.
I think though, as much as we want to blame Tom Curran for the way he bowled, I don't think it's all entirely down to him, because if you look at the game, at Delhi needed to defend 29 of 2 overs, and at that point, Rabada had the ball. He's your best bowler. He's not supposed to give more than 10 runs in that situation. He ended up giving 17, which left Tom Curran only 12 to defend of the last over, which is always going to be tough. Yes, he bowled some absolute not good balls, to be nice to him, in the final over. Like the last one was a full toss, which got smoked for 6. But I think Rabada has to shoulder more of the blame than Curran here, because he went for 17 in the second last over, given that he's the main bowler in the team.
Okay, but he went. How about the previous overs though? He did pretty well. I think.
Yeah, he bowled beautifully. But when you have the game at 29 of 2 overs, it's your job as the lead bowler to close out the game over there, isn't it?
I think. No, I'm sorry. I go back to Tom Curran, and he's given the task to finish off this innings. He certainly didn't do it well. Marcus Stoinis, I don't know why he even came in for his over either. There's some confusion here. Ashwin he was the most economical bowler in the team, and he didn't bowl a 4th over.
That was a mistake. Huge mistake.
I'm not sure what happened there. And look, you can blame Rishabh Pant. Okay, you can blame Rishabh Pant. But Ravi Shankar Ashwin is an experienced bowler and would have been in Rishabh Pant's ear and would have made sure that he would have bowled a 4th over. Let's be honest. So there's something strange has gone on there, indeed. Unless Stones I can bowl, I don't know. Something's very strange.
Norman, if you are looking at a South Africans don't play spin well. Ashwin, with his length and variations, could have at least not given away more than 15 runs, just 10 runs, 19
Absolutely.
runs. Given Rabada the final over, Rabada has delivered you so many wins in the final over.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
No, I think that by that point it was too late to bowl Ashwin, because there was Morris and there was a nutcut out there. The ball was spinning into them. I think where he missed it was when Curran bowled his first over. So I think with 9 overs to go, Delhi had bowled only 4 bowlers. So they needed to bowl 4 overs out of the last 9 of their 5th bowler, which was Curran and Stoinis. And he went Curran and then went back. Then went Curran, Stoinis, Curran, and then Avesh Khan. And I think that was the mistake. That Stoinis over should have been Ashwin, because if Curran was anyway going to bowl 4 overs, that Stoinis over was useless. You keep your best bowlers on from one end and you bowl your 4th bowler on the other end. So Curran should have bowled, then it should have been Ashwin, back to Curran, and then you go with your best bowlers.
All right. Here we are bickering about the bowling attack and when they bowl. It was lost. They should have won this convincingly. You can't even blame the last over. There's a bit of a mess going on here.
Because, Ahan, if you have to look at the success of the Delhi Capitals in IPL 2020, they relied on Rabada at the extreme end overs, not the last over, the second last over.
Rabada used to bowl 19, Norke used to bowl 20. As soon as Norke comes back, the team looks different.
Yeah, so if Norke replaces Tom Curran, then yes, it would be great. But again, I think the composition was wrong. Towards the end, the utilization of the bowlers, the rotation of the bowlers was, I don't know, it was not up to the mark today as we had expected it to.
I actually think in the first 10 overs, he got it spot on, because he bowled all his best bowlers up top, got them 5 down, and got them in a situation where he had the game to play from in his way. But I think the mistake happened when he tried to get rid of 2 5th over bowlers, because he realized that he needed to bowl them. So he bowled those 2. Instead, he should have kept bowling Tom Curran from one end and then just bowled Ashwin and bowled his other bowlers from there. And that composition would have been better. Because if you look at it, the Stoinis over, I think, went for 14. And that's where the game really turned. From then on, they started belting runs. And then Miller was just in some mood, and Morris.
Okay. Look, let's not. First and foremost, I didn't expect both sides to be around the 140 mark or thereabouts. Something was wrong with that. This pitch deserved more runs than it got. How could there be a game? I mean, we have to take into account the 2 teams and their bowling attacks from the previous match when they had 220 scored. Now they couldn't get more than 150. There's something smells here. This is very confusing, nonsensical. When you've got 3 bowlers like Chris Wokes with 2 for 22, you had Avesh Khan with 3 for 32, and then Rabada with 2 for 30. That should win you the match, shouldn't it? That should win you a match right there and then. Forgetting any other bowlers, even Ashwin, with his done for 403. Something strange about this match. Tom Curran's performance. Look, if Tom Curran plays again, I'm not worthy of commentary. Tom Curran should not have been in this side. Period.
But we don't have an option. No case COVID scare is going on.
It could have afforded another batter because they had the players in that side that could have easily covered for that. I'm afraid that's my fault.
They have someone like Steve Smith sitting in the dugout
As well. Look, Delhi, I'm going to say this
Ann would like to differ from me. Would you say that you play Steve Smith in place of a foreign player?
Not at all. I think Steve Smith. You can't have Ajinkya Rahane and Steve Smith at 3 and 4 in a T20 game.
I'm saying instead of Rahane, get Steve Smith and play a bowler like Umesh Yadav.
Exactly.
I agree with you. I wanted to see how this 3 fast bowler worked out. After seeing it, I don't think it has the batting depth for it to. We don't have especially without Iyer, we don't have it. But I don't agree with this choice of player. I'd actually play Hetmeyer at 3, and then Pant at 4, Stoinis at 5, Lalit Yadav at 6, and then you have Axar and everyone. Then you have Axar Patel, Ashwin, and Nokia when he comes back then. But I think the issue for Delhi is they want to find a way to be able to play Wokes, Nokia, and Rabada, because Wokes is bowling really well, but they can't leave out Nokia or Rabada, so they want to play all 3.
I mean, Unikat must be given some praise here. He took the first 3 wickets of the Delhi Capitals totally, got them out pretty cheaply and set the scene, didn't he? Let's be honest. He got out in inform, Darwan, Shaw, and to an extent Rahane. Look, it's early days. I think if Vijay was here now, he'd be saying, Norman, calm down. It's early days. I don't take away my thoughts about Delhi Capitals. They're still the force we reckon with. Something went very wrong in this match at the end. But they had, their total was poor. 147 was poor. But they've actually been able to go close to defending that, which I think was remarkable to start with. Both teams, the first 3 batters failed in both teams. That makes you lose most matches. If your top 3 batters get single-figure scores, your team generally loses. Correct? It's very rare that team can come out of that situation. But both teams had that. In fact, in the case of Rajasthan Royals, the top 4 batters failed. They should not have won this match. No matter how Chris Morris came back with heroics, they shouldn't have won this match. Delhi allowed this match to occur in this manner, and they won't let it happen again. Rajasthan Royals aren't worthy winners. I think they played poorly as well. They got away with it then because of Chris Morris, but both teams have played poorly here. That means you can knock out this game as an example. Lucky for Rajasthan Royals, Delhi Capitals, it's early days. We know that if you lose a few of the early matches, it's not the end of the world. Delhi Capitals are still capable of winning this. I maintain that. Debashes.
Absolutely, it's a match Delhi Capitals shouldn't have lost in the first count. Obviously, to restrict Rajasthan, and obviously they batted poorly. We have to accept it. It's no way on a strip like Wankhede you cannot because it is way below the par score if I'm not wrong. So I think Delhi Capitals will do the fact that they missed out. They missed a trick means of not posting a decent total. And all credit to Rajasthan Royals, and particularly Chris Morris, the way he batted. I think the only difference between both the sides is the Chris Morris last at the end, hitting out those big sixes and taking the match away.
Yeah.
And Killer Thriller Miller.
Yes, Siddharth, Killer Thriller Miller.
We saw finally a glimpse of Thriller Miller after 2013. That time when he hit that century against RCB, from that time till now, Miller was missing. Now he's finally back. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah. The Killer, the Thriller, what do you call it? Killer Thriller Miller.
Killer Thriller Miller.
You sound like Muhammad Ali. The Thriller and the Miller. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, of course.
To be really honest, I'm really confused with this game. I can't make any comprehension of form. Rajasthan Royals can be happy they've won the match, but they can't take this as the reason why they're going to win the tournament. No way. my opinion of Rajasthan Royals, really, they are awful. They are really awful. Okay, Chris Morris hit runs at the end, but if they look at their batting lineup, how on earth can your top four get scores of 2, 9, 4, and 2? Who would give anyone hope? In fact, their top 6 batsmen, 2, 9, 4, 2, 5, 4, 2, 2. That's just awful. That's not
a telephone number. Yeah, that's a telephone number.
Is that your phone number? So I better record
Yeah.
Excuse me if my alarm's telling me to wake up. My alarm's telling me to wake up. There we go. Just making sure. It's so bizarre. Every day now, my alarm wakes me up, but I'm already woken. It's very strange. All right. The fact that Samson got 4 runs, that he was it. To me, he was the batsman that had to fire for the team to win, and he didn't fire. Okay, take away from the batting. In terms of the bowling, I mean, Wankhede must be given some praise for his overs. They were very important in the early stages to take the wickets to retaliate after what had happened. The likes of I'm looking at the Delhi Capitals bowling lineup, and I can't fault Wokes, Khan, Rabada, and Ashwin at all. Really, their overall figures. Tom Curran, I certainly can, and I maintain he shouldn't be in the side. He's done nothing to deserve himself in the side. If they select him next time, they got something really wrong with him. Maybe Tom Curran is dating the boss's wife or girlfriend. I'm not sure what's going on. Something strange going on here. Something very, very unusual. So, all right. Now, you were upset. We were lucky to cross to you prior to the match finishing, watching you doing something, throwing something at the wall. I'm not sure, stabbing your voodoo doll. I'm not sure what you were doing, but you're doing something rather strange. Can you make any sense of this?
No, I mean, I don't know what to say. I think Delhi didn't deserve to win this after the way they batted, to be very honest. Pant was the only one that batted really well. And he was unlucky to get run out. But then once we got to 147, 148, we didn't really deserve to win this. But then we reached a situation where we shouldn't have lost it. Like once we had them 5 down so early, then I think we messed it up. I mean, we shouldn't forget that for whatever it's worth, Pant missed a sitter of a run out in the 17th or 18th over of Wankhede, which came literally into his hands, and he couldn't hold the ball. In that situation, if he holds the ball, takes off the wickets, you have number 9 and 10 walking in who do not know how to hold a bat in the Chetan Sakaria and Mustafizur Rahman. And that might just give you the opportunity to blow through one side of the batting in 2, 3, or even 4 balls. So, I mean, we shouldn't discount that fact either, because I mean, there was a chance which we clearly let go.
I mean, the fact that when David Miller was dismissed, which should have been the end of it, at 704, they only had 4 overs left. Just over 4 overs. And I think that's when Debastis and I were talking for the first time. And I asked you what was the score, and you said 34 off a handful of balls. It was quite surreal the way that went. I wish we had a video of Ahan's reaction. You we say in Australia, you were spewing, meaning you were upset. Do you use that expression when you speak English? Do you say, I'm spewing? No?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, you do? Okay. Right. So you were not happy. I've never seen such a calm young man with a nice smile blow up like that.
Delhi Capital does that to you.
I blow up like that when my mother comes in and annoys me. I blow up like that occasionally. With mothers, you can blow up, can't you? Debastis, do you blow up when your mother gets upset with you, or when your mother annoys you and says you haven't cleaned behind your ears? Do you get upset?
Absolutely, I do get upset.
What do you do? Throw something on the ground, or do you get a bit up? Do you rant?
I just tell her to keep quiet.
Do you keep? I don't keep quiet. I blow up. I'm throwing things around. I'm saying I'm not doing this anymore. I'm leaving. Blah blah blah. But you can't. All right. I'm really not able to dissect this game intelligently. I can't say, well, these are the reasons why they lost. This is the reasons why they won, because there are no reasons why either side won or lost. It is the most confusing game I've seen in a long, long time. And I'm very suspicious of these. If you look at the Rajasthan Royals batting lineup, 2, 9, 4, 2, 2, 11. That's enough failures the team to deem as a failure. But then you've got Miller, Tuatia, and obviously Morris coming and scoring the runs over. In such a bottom-heavy performance. In the Delhi Capitals team, it's almost identical in a way. 298, 079 with the likes of Punt really standing out. Now, let's not take away from Rishad's punt settings. It was pretty good, wasn't it? Do you agree?
Very mature. Very, very mature. Played according to the situation. But again, when he had set the base, he didn't accelerate. That's very, very surprising. Not a single six in the entire Delhi Capitals innings.
But his acceleration was brilliant. He paced that innings like absolutely beautifully. The issue was not with that. The issue was with why he ran himself out when it clearly went straight to the bowler.
They bowled well.
I mean, Lalit Yadav certainly deserved to be in the side. Do you agree? He played particularly well. Marcus Stonis got out for a duck up to 5 balls and got hit for 15 off 1 over. That's not very good stats. He's supposed to be the champion all-rounder here. He contributed very poorly to this match. Anyway, I'm sure Delhi Capitals won't panic. They'll be annoyed by this, but they won't panic. I think essentially they can't say that that's typical of their form. Whereas Rajasthan Royals are cock and hoop, they shouldn't have got there that far and they shouldn't have won the match. Chris Morris may have earned about a third of his money today. He needs to do a lot more than that. I'm really not sure where to go with this conversation. It's very hard to give you a true analysis that reflects this game. Can someone help me? Siddharth, give me your words of wisdom.
Well, to cut a long story short, the top order failed. Both sides, the top order failed. Both sides allowed, normally when the opponent is down, you keep your foot pressed at the throat. They didn't let that happen. Rajasthan Royals let it slip a bit in the Delhi Capitals innings. They allowed partnerships to flourish. Here, somehow, I may say Chris Morris and David Miller kept them in the hunt until the 16th over. That's when Nahan pointed out that, yes, some bowling mistakes were made. Rishabh Pant missing a simple run out, small things, but it cost them big. So the end of the story is Rajasthan Royals made them pay. Delhi Capitals could not make them pay as much. That is the bottom line of the story, I would say.
But does it change your thoughts as to where these two teams will finish?
I would still say Delhi Capitals is just an aberration. They've got solidity. Now with this loss, the positives I can say is they've got solidity in the lower middle order. But yes, if you had gotten Hetmeyer in, it would have made a whole of a lot of difference instead of Tom Curran. But Rajasthan Royals, it's just imagine, I'm again saying that first game, Punjab Kings, had Chris Morris gotten that strike, 4 of 1, he could have gotten 3 runs, he could have gotten a 4, he could have hit a 6. It would have been such a different story. I still maintain that. Those 2 balls of misjudgment by Sanju, now Rajasthan Royals are playing catch-up.
That would have meant Rajasthan Royals were undefeated so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say something about that? I think Sanju Samson made the completely right decision that day. And Chris Morris has actually come out in an interview right now and agreed, like in one of the post-match things, he said Sanju did the right thing that day. I would have sacrificed my wicket that day to get him on strike because he was hitting it so well. And I think at that situation, Sanju basically had to calculate that we have to hit a boundary either way. Who's more likely to hit a boundary, me or Chris Morris? And that day, Chris Morris just was not striking it. So he backed himself, which was, if Dhoni had done the same thing, the whole world would have gone gaga about it.
Yeah, but again, Dhoni has been more hit and miss in the last couple of years. And yes, 2 of 4 was a pretty harsh judgment of it at the 10. Yes, it was difficult. The pressure was there. But again, Morris was a finisher. They bought him for his all-round skills, not for his bowling skills. You could have backed him. You could have backed him to hit the boundary. It was not as if he needed to hit. But again, when he went for glory, that 119, he was dismissed. They lost by 4 runs. It depends on how you look at the glass, whether it's half empty or half full. It's like that.
Mine's borderline. Mine's empty in
Empty.
terms of my crystal ball's empty as to what's actually happened today.
That's what the Rajasthan Royals win does to you.
But Sid, we are just missing out on one player. And today, I think Unadkat was outstanding at the start. Means obviously those three
Outstanding.
wickets,
Yep.
those early three wickets. I think that set the tone. Means obviously we know what a powerful batting Delhi is. They're a top heavy batting lineup with the likes of Prithvi Shaw, Shikhar. And what a catch that the
Sanju.
Samson took. Means obviously, I think it was a bit strange to have three far left arm quicks at the start. Means I for one was a little bit. I was thinking, why have they picked three fast? Obviously, Chetan Sakaria had a great first match in a great debut, I would say. But then Unadkat has been really outstanding. Means over the last few seasons, he has always been talked about that someone. He has been very overrated cricket bowler, if you say me. But then he proved his point today because he that three crucial wickets at the start set the tone for Rajasthan Royals.
I mean, Devashish, if I have to add to that, I mean, Unadkat was the pivotal performer in Saurashtra's Ranji win in 2020, in the 2020 season. He was not performing well in the IPL after his exploits in 2017 for Rising Pune Supergiants. He had some off seasons for Rajasthan, but now that three wickets, I think it's gotten his confidence, a continuation of that Ranji confidence, taking wickets and leading Saurashtra to that Ranji title that has, maybe I may say, Unadkat 2.0.
Well, Unadkat got the player of the match, which I'm impressed by. He got player of the match. Now, we all agree that he played well, but statistically, I mean, I'm actually glad they didn't give it to any of the batters, honestly, because even though Chris Morris had heroics, David Miller, they didn't really win this match. The bowlers did, I have to say. And in the case of
I think Miller was in with a shout though, because I mean they lost the game by that point almost if Miller had not played that innings.
Yeah, I would have even given it to Morris, 1 wicket and 36 of 18 when the pressure was really on. Also,
well, Miller's more of an invaluable player than Chris Morris in this team, I say. Chris Morris in the bowling was pretty ordinary, I thought. Didn't bowl well. Yeah, he got 1 wicket, but he didn't exactly excite me. The fact that Unadkat got 3.75 as his run economy rate, that's amazing. Anyway,
amazing, yep.
But let's go back to the start. Rabada was a little bit off in the end. There was, and understandably so. It's his first game back after being in quarantine. I give him some credit that he did well, so I can't knock him. Okay, who was the first person you don't select out of this match? Give me a name.
Tom Curran.
I've got 2.
TC.
Tom Curran and Ajinkya Rahane, both.
Okay, Siddharth?
TC, Tom Curran.
So, if we all think that way, and I'm sure 99% of the public, even Tom Curran's brother might be saying that, maybe his parents are. I mean, who's not listening to us, for God's sake? Okay, selectors. Okay. Come selectors, come close. Everyone else get away. Selectors, I won't say anything. What on earth is going on in your head? Tell me the secret. Why are you is Tom Curran making the best biscuits, or is he making coffee on time? Is that the reason why I got selected?
Coffee. He's
making
coffee.
There was no other reason for it. Selectors, get your act together. When the whole world says that. In fact, even could you read that, please?
Yeah, how did Delhi? Yeah, it's someone called Gigi Bowie. He says that how did Delhi pick Tom Curran over Steve Smith when DC lack a basic anchorer and can't score more than 150 plus if the openers fail? We saw that in the last IPL. Big mistake. Your thoughts?
I didn't even have to read that to know my thoughts. I mean, no one needs to get their thoughts. It is blind Freddie would be able to tell you this. Seriously, this is a again, selectors. Are you watching me? You better replay this because I'm going to send it to you by way of a link. We make all of us, all 4 of us here from different walks of life, different age groups. in terms of looks, I'm the best looking, but that's relevant. The fact is, we all decided that Tom Curran should not have been selected before the match, not after, before. I'm sorry. That's the reason why they lost today. I'm serious. Had they had any other player on the side, that would have handled that situation better. It was awful. Anyway, all right. Enough about Tom Curran. I'm sure Tom Curran won't be. He'll be deleting me from Facebook as we speak. I'll be off his friends list. That's okay. I can handle that. All right.
Can I just say something about that?
No, you can't. Of course you can.
No, I think not picking Tom Curran is the right decision, obviously, but I don't think Steve Smith is the answer for the Tom Curran role at all. I think if you want, I mean, see, I think the thing with Delhi is if they want to go with this three-seamers tactic, I mean, Nortje obviously comes in, but the thing is, Nortje has a COVID scare around him right now. But if they want to pick a batsman, Smith is not the answer. They need to pick Hetmeyer or Billings because that's what they need really. And Hetmeyer lower down the order maybe. But the thing is, if they're going to play Hetmeyer, then they have to drop Rahane. If they're picking a batsman instead of Curran, they have to drop Rahane or Lalit Yadav because then you can't go in with Lalit Yadav and Stoinis needing to bowl 4 overs. That's asking for trouble.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, to be honest with you, Rahane is not going to be dropped. I'm pretty sure he won't be dropped. I think he'll be left on this side. But Tom Curran, I think we made a decision for him already. Marcus Stoinis as well has a lot to answer today. He failed with both bat and ball. He was very ineffective, and that's going to spell some alarm bells as well. Is Billings fit? Billings has been carrying an injury since the test or the ODIs or T20 series, isn't he?
No, he's fit now. He's in batting in the nets and everything. He's fit to play.
Okay. I would argue that I have Sam Billings on the side as well, perhaps, potentially. Anyway, Delhi Capitals won't panic. Ricky Ponting won't panic. Ricky Ponting is an amazing coach. He will be getting very upset with them now. He'll be telling them off. I'll tell you now. He'll go, "What the hell happened there, guys? What planet were you on when you played this game of cricket? How could you lose this match? You played against an awful side, and you lowered yourself to their level." That's my way of describing it.
And it will be interesting to see because Delhi Capitals they normally post post-match videos in the dressing room with the team talks and Ricky Ponting giving lectures. So it will be interesting how this steps up because a lot of guys will be fired up today in that team talk in the dressing room. So it will be interesting whether Delhi Capitals does post the video today.
I'm sure they'll be posting perhaps the pre-match rather than the post-match more. And I mean, and they'll be talking about My 11 Circle. I'm sure they'll be watching us and be commenting on My 11 Circle. In fact, have I done the My 11 Circle promotion yet? I don't think I have. I better do that now while we've got the opportunity before I forget. They have been a fantastic sponsor of this show with their fantasy app. Clearly, the ability for us to win 1 crore rupees as first prize is amazing. Beat VVS Laxman and get a chance to win 5 times the cash. Download it now. Get your $1,500, not dollars, 1,500 rupees, joining bonus, and 20% extra cash. Hurry, make your team now. I think my team will be very different post-match. I certainly wouldn't have Tom Curran on it. So, My 11 Circle. I'm going to have a look. Is there any way you can... What's the odds of Tom Curran being selected for the next match? Give me odds. I think it's 1,000,000 to 1. I think I'd be quite happy with that. All right. So where to from here? Delhi Capitals will go back and they'll sort themselves out. I'm pretty much sure that all teams have a loss. In fact, has any team won the IPL without losing a match?
No, never.
Never.
RCB this year.
What was that?
RCB this year.
Oh.
But Norman, I would totally agree with Ahan at the start of the show. He did mention that when Akshar Patel gets fit and he comes back, obviously he is definitely a certainty in the Delhi Capitals side. I totally agree with Ahan because I think Akshar Patel adds a lot of value. He brings a lot on the table. So I would definitely see Akshar Patel, but who gets dropped among the Indians? Because you can only play 7 Indian players. So obviously, Prithvi Shah, Dhawan, Rishabh Pant, and Avesh Khan. These are all certainties. Then, do you see? Do you? I put a question to Ahan. Do you? I mean, who are the 7 Indian players would you pick in this Delhi Capital side?
Do you have to pick
Who would
7? Can't
I
you pick?
pick?
Can't you pick 8? You don't
No, you
have to
can.
play 4 foreigners.
No, you can. You can.
You can, Norman.
Who would I pick, or who do I think Delhi would pick? Who I would pick? My
Yeah,
four
I,
foreigners. My
yeah.
4 foreigners would be Rabada, Noke for sure. Okay, and then so you build from the top. You'll have Shaw, Dhawan, and then I play a foreigner at 3, either Hetmeyer or Billings. Either it doesn't matter to me. Then or Stoinis. Then you have Pant at 4, Stoinis at 5, and then I play Lalit Yadav at 6. So that's my fourth Indian. Then I have Aksar 7, Ashwin 8, um, and then Rabada Noke 9, 10, and then
Avesh.
an Indian fast bowler, either Avesh,
Avesh.
Ishant, or Umesh, any of them. But I think I do think though that the Delhi team really likes Wokes this year, so they can get a lot out of him. They might rotate Noke and Wokes depending on the situation of the game that they're playing in and stuff.
So let me get this clear. You can play 3 non-Indians.
You can play 1 or 0 if you want.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We seem to think we have to use foreign players. If they're not playing well enough, don't select them. Full stop. But we do find. Am I wrong in saying we do find they always have 4? They never not have 4. Correct?
No, there are teams that have played without 4 in the past.
Chennai Super Kings have played with only 3 overseas players.
Delhi has done it a couple of times as well.
Yeah, but hang on. You're talking about a couple of times here, 1 or 2 times there. But overwhelmingly, they don't. They play 4 non-Indian.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Can I take this question? Obviously, is Avesh Khan the answer to quality Indian pacer Delhi has been looking for?
Yes. He's proved. Don't you think he's proving himself? I think he's a great player.
I think it depends on the role. It depends on the foreign fast bowlers that are playing around him. Because if Wokes is playing with Rabada, then Avesh has to play because Wokes bowls up top, and then Avesh can cover the death because Ishant and Ramesh can't bowl at the death. But if Nokia and Rabada are playing, then I don't think. Then I think Avesh is not like a certainty because then you've already got the death bowler, so you need someone who can bowl up top, and Ishant and Ramesh are better when they're bowling in the power play. So it really depends on who are the foreigners playing around him.
I would have him in the side. Until we know what Norjay and the like are actually how the fitness goes. I mean, he may not be, or you'd hope he's coming back, but we're not 100% sure at this point. That's for sure. Anyway, bottom line is Delhi Capitals can just forget this game and move on. And maybe they need to have the stumble now rather than later. Last season,
and drop Tom Curran.
Tom Curran. I'm going to be talking to your father. And I'm going to find out what's going on there. Actually, I've met Sam and Tom have a brother. He was in Sydney for a while, and I met him. And I've forgotten his first name. I completely forgotten his first name. We had a good chat, and I joked with him, how do you feel having 2 brothers playing for your country and you're not? Because he's quite a good cricketer. He seemed to be quite happy with it. He wasn't too bothered. But it was an interesting conversation we had. They had an amazing childhood. It was one of those rare situations, unlike a Chappells or a Radatungas, where the majority of players were actually, test selectors.
Was it Ben Curran? Are you talking about Ben Curran?
I think it's Ben. You're right. It is Ben.
I mean, I wouldn't feel bad if I was Ben. If I was seeing Tom getting hit like this, I wouldn't mind not playing international cricket.
All right. Oh my God! It's going to get back. All right. Now, just quickly, here's a little quiz for you guys and viewers. What is the most capped brothers or family in world cricket ever? Can someone tell me?
War.
The War brothers?
No, that was 2. The third didn't play.
Oh, you mean how many?
Chappell brothers? The Chappell brothers?
Chappell brothers?
Close,
brothers?
3, but no.
Also,
The
how
Hadley
many in the
brothers?
family?
Sorry?
Are we talking about number in the family or total number of international games played combined?
4 brothers. The
Oh,
name I'm
okay.
looking at is four brothers.
The Hadley brothers?
No,
Dale, Walter, Richard. Okay, no, that no.
Ranatunga, Dharmika, Arjuna, Sanjeeva, and Nishantha. There you go.
Oh, okay.
And
Wow.
I know all four personally, and they keep telling me all about that. As you may not know, Siddharth and Ahan or Debash does, I was married to a Sri Lankan for 14 years. And
Wow.
I'm more Sri Lankan than even Indian. I can say a lot of Sinhalese words like ayo, pisu, pisuda. Do you know what pisuda means? Are you crazy?
Talking. Are you crazy? Okay.
Okay. Katagara is talking. Okay. So pisu means double pisu. In fact, Debasis is double pisu, which means he's double crazy. Okay. So if I use the word, if I go pisu, double pisu, you understand what I mean now.
Okay. Double crazy.
And they have sayings like ayo, and if you're playing cricket against Sri Lankans, you listen out now. You go back and play some tapes. If a ball is dropped or is a close decision, you'll hear them say ayo. Okay, so you go back over the tapes. I remember keeping against Sri Lankans in Sri Lanka against a bunch of kids who scored 400 or 40 overs. They were the under-19 Sri Lankan team. What a mistake. At Pisara Oval there in Colombo. And I was keeping. I didn't touch the ball. These batters were hitting it everywhere, all over the ground. And I knew my Sinhalese. I could speak Sinhalese. And I would put the batter off by going, ayo, pawane, pesu. And they were looking at me going, how the hell is this Australian guy know all these words? There are a few other words I used too, but I can't repeat them here. We won't use them here, but they knew what I was saying. All right. Okay, we digress. Debasis, double pisu. What do you agree with the fact that Delhi basically can forget this? We can move on. The fact is that Delhi certainly are deserving of the final. They're going to have to get their act together, but they know what they've done wrong. Whereas Rajasthan Royals have won the game, but I'm no more convinced that they're going to be anywhere but close to the bottom. It's bizarre.
Definitely, I agree with you because it's just a one-off loss for Delhi Capitals. I would feel so. Obviously, all they have to do is to have that playing 11 correct, have that right playing combinations, and obviously it's too early to the season, Norman, because they have played 2-1 and lost one, so it's too early in the season. But then definitely with the likes of Nokia coming back, Akshar Patel coming back, and Simran Hetmyer is in the dugout, Steve Smith in the dugout. So I think they have plenty of options and plenty of backup players, and I think they have all bases covered. If you tell me they are one of the three teams that have all bases covered, the likes of Mumbai Indians, RCB, and Delhi Capitals, and also to some extent Sunrisers Hyderabad. So I think they have definitely this will just be the one-off loss. Obviously, in a big tournament like IPL, there will be just few hiccups. There will be injuries. There will be players who has a deep in form. But then I think Delhi Capitals definitely has the potential to make it to the playoffs.
And Rishabh Pant scored 50 odd runs. We can't forget that. He's still consistent with his batting. Let's note about that. All right.
But I have a question to all of you. I mean, was it the bit of inexperience in Rishabh Pant? Do you see? Because we have two new captains today, Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant, both to Ahan and Siddharth.
Well, they both made a mess of it. Let's be honest. It wasn't just one. Look, I think there's a lot of pressure on Pant. He may have made a mistake over there, but it was the performance of individual players that you can't always control as a captain. You can't control the bowler. You give the opportunity to bowl the death overs and they miss out. You can't necessarily blame the captain there because if someone doesn't perform, you can't predict that. So I think Pant's efforts are still very admirable.
Yeah, I think, as I said earlier, I think the first 10 overs or 10, 11 overs, he got it spot on because in a low taste like this, you have to get your opposition team 4 or 5 done early so they can't go after your bowling, which was a good decision. But then I think he missed a couple of tricks in the back 10 overs. Like as I said, I think that Stoinis over was not necessary when he bowled it. Ashwin should have bowled that over to keep at the pressure. and then see where it goes from there. But I do agree, like he couldn't have budget. I think whatever he did, he got this game to a situation where they needed 29 of 2 overs, with Rabada bowling one of those 2 overs. In 8 out of 10 situations in 8 out of 10 games in that situation, you'd back Delhi to win. Rabada would not usually give more than 10, 11 runs in that over. And then whoever's bowling the last over, even if it's Tom Curran, it's very tough to chase 80.
Now I'm just going to my. I've had an actual message here from my 11 circle. I think I'm gonna bet on the fact that Delhi's still winning. I've still got my money on Delhi Capitals. Now I've mentioned my 11 circle. I mustn't. My 11 circle. We must go and have a chat about them. Again, this particular sponsor is here with us. They've been magnificent. Their fantasy app is a winning app. I would look at their app. I would implore you to all look at their app, get a hold of it, because you actually get 1 crore rupees as your first prize. That's a lot of money, isn't it? 1 crore. Would you like to have 1 crore set up?
Oh, trust me. Trust me, I would love to. Trust me.
All right. Well, then beat VBS Lakshman and get a chance to win 5 times the cash. And download that app now. And forever, you'll be getting, or for that, you'll be getting 1,500 rupees just to be a joining bonus. Gee, I'd be doing it for that at the very least. And 20% extra cash on top of that. Harry, make your team now. My team today, I would have been completely wrong. And that again, win the first prize, 1 call with 1, and make your team. And show your fist with that lovely mustachioed fellow there. My 11 circle. My 11 circle. You certainly can make your team and make a success of it. So I would always support my 11 circle. I would definitely get involved with that team.
Absolutely.
Okay, Siddharth. Who was the first person you would not have put in your fantasy side today?
The common villain, the pantomime villain that we have today, Tom Curran.
No, I disagree actually on that one. I disagree. I would have kept Tom Curran in my fantasy team because he bats. He bats at the bottom and he takes some cheap wickets in the death overs sometimes. So actually, who I wouldn't have picked today would have been probably someone like Manan Vora in Rajasthan, because I just don't think he's going to score runs, or Shivam Dubey, because he just doesn't do anything.
So your advice is you want a bowler that takes cheap wickets at the end. That's your advice? That's not advice.
You do know wickets. Wickets are the highest point scorers in fantasy apps, and death bowlers have the highest chance of taking wickets because when the batsmen are trying to slog them, they usually sky one up and someone takes a catch, so you get points for that.
Oh, you've worked that one out, haven't you? Well, then I have Tom Curran every single time. I have Tom Curran as my first pick every time.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing any games anymore to be picked first.
Can you have a player in your fantasy team that doesn't even play? No, you can't.
Yeah, you can. You just get 0 points from him.
No, but looking at Tom Curran not in confidence for the past 3-4 months, I wouldn't have picked him anyways.
Exactly.
I would have picked his younger brother though, Sam.
Oh,
he scored 25 runs. That's it. 40 runs, 40 points.
Sam Curran, he deserves Chris Morris's money, not Chris Morris. Although after today, Chris Morris is going to say, I deserve it. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So, the next game. This was game 6. Was it 6? 6. And so next tomorrow is game 7.
7. Today is 7. Today was 7.
Of 60. Oh my God.
Today's the 7th. Tomorrow's the 8th.
Sorry?
Today is the 7th game. Tomorrow is the 8th game.
Tomorrow's the 8th.
Okay, I thought that was the case. So we just had the 7th today. This was the 7th match, correct? We had.
Yep.
So it's only the next game. We'll see a finish to both teams having played 2 matches, correct? We'll have both plays. So the 2 that are left, Punjab Kings versus
Chennai Super Kings.
Chennai Super Kings.
Again, another match that's confusing. Punjab Kings and CSK were my 2 picks to be towards the bottom of the competition, but they'll produce fireworks. And they're playing obviously not at Chennai. We know that because CSK are not playing.
In Mumbai. Yeah.
Sorry?
They're playing in Mumbai. Wankhede.
Exactly. So just turn our minds to Punjab Kings. They're pretty much a team that I would think would give CSK a good shake. And I think CSK will be up against it with that. But after having seen today's match, who knows? but I'm going to make an early prediction. Punjab Kings against CSK. I think Punjab Kings will have the better of them. What's your thoughts, Sahan?
I think I'm saying this more out of hope because I don't want Punjab to go 2-0, but I think Chennai will win tomorrow. Just because, why not? Why not?
Why not?
I think tomorrow some players will show up. I think Raina will show up again. I think Moin Ali will score some runs. Gaikwad will play well, and I just don't rate Punjab's bowling. It's quite average.
Yeah, barring the exception of Mohammad Shami. Yeah, I also reckon the same way. The biggest weak link of Punjab is their bowling.
Yes. They didn't pick Ravi Bishnoi in the previous match. I don't know why. You picked two pacers who are very short on experience in the IPL, and Jai Richardson, Riley Meredith. Yes, they do have pace. They do. They are good bowlers. But in these conditions, I don't know. They just don't seem the part.
I love Jai Richardson. So I think he's a fabulous bowler. He should play all games. But Ravi Bishnoi should play with him.
Yeah. But Jai Richardson has not been the same ever since that shoulder injury. That's the one problem.
Exactly. He's not.
But he set the BBL on fire. He set the BBL on fire.
But the BBL again, the BBL and IPL are two different beasts altogether.
Yeah,
I mean, Riley Meredith. I mean,
it's one
he's
game.
The unknown of the BBL. Yeah.
But
CSK looked better.
I watched the BBL, guys. I was underwhelmed comparatively. I was underwhelmed this year. The whole Australian season post the Test series against India, quite frankly, the stuffing was taken out of Australian cricket after that series. We haven't played well in any format. New Zealand really touched us up. Our domestic performance has been very ordinary. This particular, New South Wales won the domestic competition last week against WA, Western Australia, and today New South Wales batted very ordinarily. They only got 143 in a long version of the match. Australian form has been very off, and the BBL was quite frankly off. Admittedly, we're fortunate. We have got crowds. We've got all our conditions back, but our teams have been off, and there's been a lack of true competition. We haven't played against an international side since India, except for New Zealand, and nothing in the longer format. We've got some issues there, by the way, certainly. New South Wales is normally the haven for the best players, but really, I maintain Jason Sanger. Watch that name. Remember, as what that famous commentator said, Ian Bishop. Remember the name. I love that.
Carlos Brathwaite, Ian Bishop.
Yeah, exactly. Ian Bishop. Although, that performance was amazing, wasn't it? They still got as one of the most amazing batting performances towards it.
He was on commentary. He was on commentary today as well when Morris was hitting those sixes. It wasn't as good this time.
He didn't go nuts, though, did he?
Yeah. No, I'm thankful he didn't. I wouldn't have been able to take it.
I feel sorry for. I feel sorry for Chris Morris in some ways, and otherwise I don't feel sorry for him. He didn't want the money. He got the money, but now he's got that tag on his back for the rest of the series, and is expected to perform crazily every single time to make it warranted. So it's a hard one. All right. So,
yeah, Pat Cummins and Kyle Jamieson are carrying those monkeys on their backs, anyways.
Yeah, I certainly gave it to Pat Cummins. I visited his new home, and the Bastards and I, we concocted that. I went to Pat Cummins' home and almost got invited by the previous owners, but that didn't quite happen. But I took very good coverage of his place, and his place is in a great street, but it's not even a freestanding building. It's detached. It's attached to the next door neighbours. But I've got 9.5 million. Was it 54 crores?
Yeah, 54 crores in Indian currency.
My goodness.
And that was about 3 to 4 million more than any other place on the street. It set a record. He wanted that place. He paid overs big time. I think he had some of his. Who does Pat Cummins play? He plays against for us. Who does he play for? He plays for us.
KKR, Kolkata Knight Riders.
So I'll get it right. KKR. I think he had the KKR team with him when he was buying that property. I think the KKR team were putting up their hands for the property, not him. All right. We might. I think in summation, this game is an aberration. I can't take any form out of this. I still maintain my Delhi Capitals viewpoint. My crystal ball is rising its head. It's saying, don't look at this match, discount this match. The Delhi Capitals still to win. We can afford to have a bad game. Better having it now. Could it be the Delhi Capitals perform well against sides that are more difficult, perhaps? Where they got more on the line, I feel. Perhaps that's the case. All right, so the Delhi Capitals still a team for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Let's see.
Now that's a very disappointing way of a fan saying, "I hope so." Let's see.
I mean, I've done it for 13 years. I've said this is our year. It's not happened. So now let's wait for it to happen. Then we'll go.
Why are you holding your head? Are you headachy or?
No, that performance was just a headache.
Well, I mean, we have to excuse Ahan. He basically chucked a mental fit before when they lost. He was ranting and raving. It was not a very ugly scene. Very ugly scene, guys. Very ugly scene. All right, Siddharth.
I think this is just an aberration. I mean, it's unlike 2019 and 2020. Delhi Capitals in 2020, remember, won about I think they won 5 out of the first 6 games. This is just an aberration. They will not look too much into it. It was just mistakes. The season definitely is longer. They are in contention for a playoff spot. They are one of the teams to definitely look out for. I don't think they lose sleep over this loss, but they better pull up their socks, make the right decisions when they play their next game.
Seeing I'm wearing thongs today, my socks are not meant to be pulled up, so I'm lucky. So, Devashis?
I think it was just a wake-up call for Delhi Capitals. And obviously, it's better off to lose such matches at the start of the season instead of at the business end, because that is what hurts you. But obviously, it's too early in the season. 2 matches, still 12 more matches to go, so that they can regroup and they can bounce back strongly. So I don't think it. I totally agree with both Ahan and Siddharth. It was just an aberration. So Delhi Capitals has it in them to bounce back, and they has the team. They has the team definitely.
Yes. And Devashish, you were talking about losses. I mean, do you remember in IPL 2020, towards the fag end, they lost 4 consecutive games. They almost botched up a chance to enter the knockouts. So it's better that they get the wake-up call now.
Yes.
And hope that they can win knockouts apart from Sunrisers Hyderabad. They have only won knockout games against Sunrisers Hyderabad in all these years. So the hope in 2021 is please win against other teams as well.
Absolutely. We'll end on that note, guys. This was a great conversation. When I think of the word aberration, I think back to when India were all out for 36 and they ended up winning the series. Is that a telling tale? I think it is. So thank you, Siddharth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Get over your headache. Go have a coffee. Devashis, I'll see you in a matter of seconds, because I'm about to start my next show called On Eyes on Cricket with Norman Koshnik. Siddharth, have you subscribed to my channel?
I have.
Oh, you have. Very good boy. So, Ahan, you better have as well, because if you don't, I'm going to come and get a big stick to you. All right. So, guys, we'll say goodbye from Extra Time. We'll say hello, Charlotte, Eyes on Cricket. This is Norman Koshnik here for Extra Time saying goodbye. My 11 circles on our side. Thank you, Devashis. Thank you, Ahan. Siddharth. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. Thank you, Ahan.
Thank you.
Thank you.